with a weapon.
The album, I ain't want to do music. I ain't want to do. I had to say something. I ain't want to
First
talk
off,
about
she's a family
That
person, right? So I pay attention to like the music and all that shit. That shit never
Got this
matter.
guy detained.
Y'all want the scoop? It's all on camera, bruh. Hey, man, this fool Lil Tjay, this goddamn Offset.
Somebody really pulled up on Offset outside the Hard Rock Casino and let shots off. Yeah, it really got that serious. The person responsible was stopped right there on the spot. And what came next? A confession nobody saw coming. You already know this isn't just about one wild night at the casino. What happened in that valet area? That was only the beginning of something way bigger. Offset, born Kiari Condrell Cephas, known as one-third of Migos, found himself in a crazy situation on April 6, 2026, around 7 p.m. This all went down outside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, a place where cars keep pulling up and cameras never stop rolling. This wasn't gossip or some internet rumor. This really happened in a packed, high-visibility location with cameras everywhere and people all around. Pure chaos in a place usually known for lights, luxury, and good vibes. His team didn't waste time either. Almost immediately, his rep confirmed Offset had been hit, saying he was stable and receiving treatment at Memorial Regional Hospital. They kept repeating one word: fine.
They just man. Gun violence. Here in the casino in Hard
But
Rock.
let's keep it real. Something serious clearly went down, and calling it fine had people side-eyeing hard. Police from the Seminole department showed up quickly, locked everything down, and detained 2 individuals right there at the valet. They made it clear there was no ongoing threat to the public, but here's the part that really stands out. The casino never stopped. Business kept moving like nothing even happened. That alone says a lot about how this all played out. In places that big, nothing slows down for anybody. Offset was out there injured, and inside the slot machines were still spinning like it was just another night. That's how those spots operate. No pauses, no shutdowns, just non-stop motion. By April 7th, 2026, the very next day, law enforcement still hadn't released the names of the 2 people detained. No confirmed charges, no clear motive, nothing official yet. The case was active and moving, but details stayed locked tight while investigators worked behind the scenes. That's usually how it goes when everything is still fresh. But while officials stayed quiet, the streets had plenty to say. The second the news broke, social media exploded across Instagram, X, and TikTok. The biggest rumor? People were saying it all started over a dice game that went left real fast. According to online chatter, there was some kind of dispute over gambling money. Things got heated in the valet, and then everything escalated from there. That story spread quickly, not just because it sounded believable, but because gambling situations tied to Offset or his circle have been talked about before. That just added fuel to the fire. Then, things got even messier. A social media figure named Seti Nash jumped online claiming that Lil Tjay was involved. He said there was an argument after Offset allegedly won money and that Tjay left and came back with a weapon. That claim went viral almost instantly, but here's where everything shifts. Lil Tjay's attorney stepped in fast and shut it all down, completely. They called the claims false, made it clear he wasn't involved, hadn't been charged, and had nothing to do with the situation. Straight denial, no hesitation, but by then, the internet had already run with it. The rumor pulled in millions of views before the truth could even catch up. Then more names started getting dragged into it too, including Stefon Diggs. People online tried linking him through Cardi B and her ongoing divorce situation with Offset, but there was zero real proof behind any of that. Those claims popped up fast and faded just as quickly once people realized there was nothing solid there. Offset himself? Completely silent. No posts, no statements, no Instagram stories, nothing. The only update came from his representative, keeping things short and controlled. He was injured, stable, and under care. That's it. And that silence, it left a lot of space for speculation to grow. Online reactions split into 3 clear lanes. One side showed support, flooding comment sections with prayers and get well soon messages, hoping he recovers fast. Another side came with criticism, saying Offset needs to move smarter, stay out of risky environments, and avoid situations that can turn dangerous like that. And then there was the third group, the loudest one. Deep in speculation, jokes, and viral takes, doing what the internet always does when big news drops without full details. Everybody had a theory, and everybody wanted to be first. But what really kept coming up was his past. People were quick to point out this wasn't the first time Offset had been caught in something serious like this, not even close. Back on May 8, 2019, a dark SUV pulled up outside Crossover Entertainment Group, a recording studio in Atlanta, Georgia, and multiple rounds were fired toward the building in several parked vehicles. Surveillance footage that TMZ reportedly obtained showed someone leaning out of a car window and firing multiple shots. The whole scene turned chaotic fast. The building was hit, and the cars outside were damaged too. Witnesses believed Offset was the intended target, which made things even more intense. But when Atlanta police stepped in, their statement told a different story.
RIP my brother, man. We took the biggest loss fight ever, and like people don't understand, like personally losing a bro.
According to officers, when they arrived on scene, Offset wasn't even there. Reports said he had been recording at the studio earlier that night and may have stepped out just before everything went down. No injuries were officially confirmed and no arrests were publicly announced either. The case didn't move quickly. It slowed down, went quiet, and eventually faded without any clear answers. Just like many situations where evidence is thin, the media at the time leaned heavily into the target angle. Headlines made it seem like he barely escaped something serious, while witnesses were convinced he was the one being aimed at. Meanwhile, Atlanta PD kept things neutral, saying they couldn't even confirm if he was present when everything happened. That gap between public belief and official facts, that's exactly where the controversy started growing. Fast forward to the 2026 Florida incident, and people online began connecting the dots again. The narrative? Offset keeps ending up in risky environments, and those close calls are starting to feel less like coincidence. Two separate incidents, two different states, but the same type of energy surrounding both. And when people really started digging, one detail kept resurfacing: gambling. According to online speculation, gambling situations seem to sit right in the middle of both stories, tying things together in a way that raised even more questions. The most serious issues tied to his circle didn't just start recently. Long before the casino incident, before the headlines and viral clips, Kiari Cephas had already faced multiple run-ins with the law. This wasn't someone entering the spotlight with a clean slate. His past was already layered. Back in 2015, Offset was taken into custody alongside Quavo and Takeoff after a concert at Georgia Southern University. The charges included marijuana possession, possession of a controlled substance, and carrying a weapon in a restricted area, which immediately raised the seriousness of the situation. On top of that, there was a firearm-related charge that pushed things even further. Offset ended up spending nearly 8 months in Bullock County Jail, longer than the others involved. That extended time largely came down to his prior record, which worked against him in court. Eventually, he took a plea deal, not admitting guilt but accepting penalties like probation, fines, and restrictions from certain areas within the Ogeechee Judicial Circuit.
But you always did, some always happen for you to get to another level.
Fines.
While serving that time, more issues surfaced. Reports claimed he picked up additional charges tied to a physical altercation with another inmate, along with encouraging disruptive behavior inside the facility. That added another layer to an already serious situation, showing how intense things had become during that period. And it didn't stop there. In 2016, he was pulled over in Atlanta and arrested again, this time for driving on a suspended license. Each of these incidents built a pattern that people still bring up today, especially when new situations hit the headlines. On its own, that charge might seem minor, but in the bigger picture, it adds to a recurring narrative: repeated run-ins with law enforcement. Then, in July 2018, things escalated again. He was pulled over in Clayton County, Georgia, reportedly for an improper lane change. During that stop, officers said they found 3 handguns and marijuana in the vehicle. Because of his prior felony record, the situation became much more serious, leading to a charge of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He posted $17,000 bail and was released after one night. His lawyer pushed back, claiming the stop was a case of unfair targeting. Still, prosecutors continued moving forward with the firearm-related charge into 2019, keeping the case active and in the spotlight. Then, years later, in 2025, another situation popped up, this time in Los Angeles. A security guard at a cannabis dispensary filed a lawsuit claiming Offset became physical after being asked for identification. The guard reported pain and emotional distress, but no criminal conviction came out of that case. Financial issues also started surfacing. By early 2026, reports showed Offset was dealing with tax liens totaling over $2.3 million.
I should respect her that way more. You know what I mean? I made bad decisions as a man, like stepping out, like gotta take that on the chin. Like
these included federal filings from 2022 and 2023, along with a Georgia state lien from 2021. Offset did clear the biggest piece, a $1.75 million federal lien that was officially resolved on December 26, 2025, but other amounts were still hanging as of April 2026. Now here's where things start lining up even more. Gambling kept showing up as a pattern. Offset has been spotted in casinos multiple times, placing heavy bets, flashing stacks, and getting caught on camera. Commentators like DJ Academics have openly questioned whether it's turning into a serious habit, and even people around him have started speaking out, bringing even more attention to it. Lil Tjay stepped in with claims that grabbed attention fast. He said he loaned Offset somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 during a casino visit, describing him as stressed and desperate at the time, allegedly asking people nearby to send money just so he could keep playing. Tjay didn't sugarcoat it either, calling the situation embarrassing and saying Offset didn't have the funds at that moment. Then, alleged leaked messages surfaced, showing Offset reacting with frustration when repayment was brought up. Things got even messier in early 2026. Influencer Selena Powell came forward with her own claims, saying she loaned Offset $15,000 during casino outings and never got paid back. According to her, the money was spent quickly, and when she asked for it, the conversations turned tense. She also claimed Offset told her he had around $13 million available and was trying to flip it through gambling. Powell didn't stop there. She alleged he was dealing with serious financial pressure from taxes and divorce costs, even mentioning bankruptcy during their conversations. These claims added even more layers to an already complicated situation.
And he was the glue, you know? That's a fact. He was the one who keep our head
DJ
straight.
Academics then connected everything publicly, suggesting that the April 2026 incident at the Hard Rock could have been tied to a casino-related money dispute. Law enforcement never confirmed any gambling motive, but people couldn't ignore how often that theme kept popping up. And what made it hit even harder? Gambling had already been linked to a tragic moment in Offset's life before. On November 1st, 2022, around 2:30 a.m., Takeoff, just 28 years old, lost his life after a situation tied to a dice game turned devastating. This happened at 810 Billiards and Bowling in downtown Houston, a place that suddenly became the center of a tragic scene. Takeoff was struck in the head and torso and was pronounced dead at the scene. The vibe shifted instantly from a private event to something heartbreaking. He had been attending a gathering hosted by Jay Prince Jr., son of the Rap-A-Lot Records founder. According to Houston Police Sergeant Michael Burrows, there was a high-stakes dice game earlier that night. That game reportedly led to a heated argument outside, with tensions rising over money and accusations about how the game was being played. Things escalated quickly, voices got louder, tempers flared, and then everything broke loose.
First off, she's a family person, right? So I pay attention to like the music and all that shit. That shit never mattered.
The key detail? Takeoff wasn't even part of the game or the argument. He was just nearby when everything happened and got caught in something that had nothing to do with him. Police made that very clear. He was an innocent bystander, unarmed and not involved at all. Offset later spoke briefly about it, making it clear how deep the pain really was. He said he didn't even want to go into details because it was too heavy to process. Authorities later identified a suspect, Patrick Xavier Clark, who was taken into custody on December 1, 2022 and faced serious charges. Surveillance footage reportedly showed him firing toward a group while holding a weapon in one hand and a bottle in the other. Investigators linked additional evidence, including fingerprints on that bottle and a vehicle connected to him. Reports also claimed he looked into using fake travel documents to quickly secure a passport, which added even more attention to the case. By May 2023, a grand jury formally indicted Clark, but he has continued to maintain his innocence. His defense team has been pushing a self-defense argument as the case moves forward. At one point, he was even released on a reduced bond while proceedings continued. Then, during a pre-trial hearing on February 10, 2026, his attorney confirmed the trial is set for November 9, 2026, with jury selection beginning November 5th. At that stage, there were no plea deals on the table. Both sides were preparing to go all the way. Then, in March 2026, Clark made a major move by bringing in a new high-profile legal team, including Houston attorneys Ken Shackelford, Anthony Osso, and Dan Cogdell, names known for handling major cases. The switch happened without delaying the trial, making it clear they're gearing up for a full courtroom battle. This case has the entire rap community watching closely. It's not just about one night in Houston.
I could have been we got so much our kids to live for. I was being selfish.
This isn't just about one moment. It's about what happens when money, competition, and pride collide in the wrong setting. And right at the center of it all is someone who wasn't even involved, yet still lost his life, which makes it hit even harder. At the same time, Offset's personal life has been going through its own storm. Cardi B filed for divorce again in July 2024, her second time after a 2020 filing they eventually called off. But this time, it feels more final. Cardi didn't stay quiet either. After filing, she started moving in a way that had everybody watching closely. Subtle posts, quick reactions, and moments where she hinted at everything without saying too much directly. Fans were reading between every line, trying to figure out what was really happening behind closed doors. Meanwhile, people close to the situation started speaking in small ways. There were whispers about trust issues, money problems, and the pressure of living everything out in public. Nothing fully confirmed, but enough to keep the conversation non-stop online. Every move turned into a headline. Offset, on the other hand, stayed mostly low-key through it all. No long explanations, no online back and forth, just silence or short responses when needed. And honestly, that silence only made people speculate even more about what was really going on behind the scenes. What made everything heavier was the timing. Legal issues, financial pressure, public rumors, and personal drama all stacking up at once. People started asking how much one person can really handle before things begin to spiral. That's why this story feels bigger than just one moment. It's not about a single headline, it's about everything connecting at once. The split between them definitely didn't happen quietly. Nothing involving these two ever stays low-key, and this time was no different. Cardi stepped onto the Inspire Me Daily podcast on March 31, 2026, and made her mindset crystal clear. She said she felt like a new person was reborn, like something woke up inside her after everything. That alone said everything without needing extra explanation. She framed the whole situation as a turning point.
I went through a big death that happened, and I was down for such a long time, and it just made me want to really enjoy life.
Not heartbreak, not loss, growth. She spoke about independence, motivation, and hitting a full reset in her life. And if you've been watching her moves since filing, it's obvious she's not mourning the relationship. She's stepping away from it like it already served its purpose. Offset didn't dodge responsibility either. In a 2023 podcast appearance, he openly spoke on the marriage and admitted where things went wrong. He owned up to stepping outside the relationship and acknowledged that his own choices played a major role in everything falling apart. What made that moment stand out? Nobody forced it. He said it himself, on camera. But moments like that hit differently when everything is already changed for good. And the impact doesn't just stay between two people, it extends to their family. 3 children growing up watching how everything played out, how their parents handled both the highs and the fallout. That adds a whole different weight to everything being said and done. You can hear it in Offset's tone, like someone who knows certain choices carried bigger consequences than expected. In another interview, he even spoke about what drew him to Cardi in the first place. He made it clear it wasn't about fame, it was her mindset, her focus, her drive, and especially her dedication to her family. Even when things were smaller, she made sure her people were straight. He said that energy reminded him of himself, and that's what made the connection feel deeper from day one. That version of their relationship, building something real, is exactly why this divorce hits so differently for people watching from the outside. 2 major names, both successful, both powerful, and it still fell apart over personal decisions and outside pressure. Then there's the financial side, which turned into its own battle. In September 2025, Cardi publicly said the divorce process was being delayed. According to her, Offset was asking for major financial help, including covering his tax issues and even giving up one of her properties. That had people talking instantly. She didn't hold back either. Cardi said she had been covering around $50,000 every month for their children's expenses without consistent support from him, and she made one thing clear: she wasn't taking on his tax debt. She said it directly, publicly, no filters. That alone showed exactly where her head was at. Meanwhile, Offset's financial situation was already under pressure. Reports showed he had over $2.3 million in federal and state tax liens. The biggest one, a $1.75 million federal lien from 2022, was fully cleared on December 26, 2025, which was a major move. But even after that, close to $800,000 was still outstanding. And in a divorce where money is already the main issue, that kind of debt isn't a strong position to be in. That pressure doesn't just disappear, it follows every negotiation, every conversation, every move. Rumors about a possible settlement started spreading fast. Some unverified reports claimed Offset was asking for spousal support, turned down a $10 million offer, and was pushing for a larger share of assets. His side quickly pushed back, making it clear not everything online was accurate. One major focus? The mansion in Sandy Springs, Georgia, the home they bought together in 2019. That property became a key part of the dispute, especially with a Georgia lien tied to it. As of April 2026, no final agreement has been confirmed. Lawyers are still going back and forth, and neither side seems ready to back down. At the same time, Cardi applied a whole different kind of pressure, and it didn't come from the courtroom. It came from how she was moving publicly. She stepped into a relationship with Stefon Diggs, and by mid-2025, it was fully out in the open. Reports even suggested they welcomed a child together between late 2025 and early 2026, shifting the entire narrative. Offset wasn't just dealing with legal and financial issues anymore, he was now facing the reality of his ex moving forward while everything between them was still unresolved. Those claims, though, had no solid proof and were spreading through unverified sources. But that's how the internet works. Facts mix with assumptions and things spiral fast. While all that noise was building, Cardi stayed focused. She kept working, launching her hair care line with Revolve, dropping her second album, Am I the Drama, in 2025, and running a full tour. She wasn't slowing down at all. She said it herself. Something shifted inside her. Something woke up, and it pushed her into one of the most active phases of her career. Offset, on his side, was trying to get back on track. Before the casino incident, he had plans lined up for 2026. Tour dates, international appearances like the Hell in Heaven Festival in Italy alongside Martin Garrix and Ice Spice, plus possible US shows in the spring. He was still focused on music and performing, while also handling real-life responsibilities, working on new music, and trying to clear his financial situation. Then everything shifted again with the Hard Rock incident. Just when it looked like things were settling, this pulled him right back into the spotlight for the wrong reasons. Plans, progress, momentum, all interrupted in a single moment nobody saw coming. What made it hit harder was the timing. He was already dealing with legal issues, financial pressure, public attention, and personal changes, and then this happened on top of it all. It raised a serious question people kept asking online. Is this just bad luck, or is there a deeper pattern? The location alone had people talking. A high-profile casino, cameras everywhere, security on site, and something like that still happened in the open. That made people question how it even unfolded in a place that's supposed to be tightly controlled. And once again, speculation took over. Different theories, different angles, everybody trying to connect dots before any official answers came out. At the center of it all is someone whose life has been moving fast in every direction. Career, personal life, public image, all colliding at once. And when everything stacks up like that, moments like this don't feel random anymore. They start to feel like part of a bigger story still unfolding. The album, the interviews, the tour dates, everything was lining up like a comeback. It looked like Offset was stepping back into his moment, trying to rebuild and move forward. He had just cleared over $1.5 million in debt and was openly talking about feeling more free after losing Takeoff. Everything pointed to a fresh chapter, and then April 6th happened. Just like that, everything shifted again. The same person working to get back on track ended up in a hospital bed after a situation outside a valet area. A moment nobody expected in a place people usually feel safe. As of April 7, 2026, the two individuals detained at the scene still haven't been officially identified or charged. The investigation remains active, the motive unclear, and Offset is still receiving medical care under close watch. Right now, everything is still up in the air. The case, the divorce, the upcoming trial connected to Takeoff, and Offset's own path forward, it's all unfolding in real time. No clear answers yet, just more questions building day by day. But one thing is clear after these past 72 hours. The streets keep talking, investigations keep moving, and places like that casino don't stop for anything happening outside. Life keeps going, no matter how serious things get. If you made it this far, tap that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more updates like this. Stay locked in, because this story is far from over.